Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is an MK802 IIIS. It's a mini computer that runs Google Android. Should theoretically be able to run Linux and other operating systems as well, but maybe not as well as Android. And on one end there's a HDMI plug. On the other end are some USB ports, so you can basically plug it directly into a television or monitor, plug in a keyboard, mouse, gamepad, whatever, and use it to run Android apps on a big screen. If you've seen things like this before, one of the first popular ones was the Android 4.0 mini PC, also known as the MK802. Ryko Magic was one of the first companies that delivered these, and this is, as you can tell by the name, kind of the fourth. It's very similar to the MK802 III, which we've seen previously, but this new model has a couple of new features, including an additional USB port, support for Bluetooth, and a little bit of different software. So let's take a quick look and see what we've got here. There's a micro SD card slot, a micro USB port, another micro USB port, full-size USB ports. So there's actually 3 USB ports, sort of. You need to use one of them to provide power, so you sort of get 2 USB ports, and then nothing here on this side. On the bottom you'll see that there's little labels that say host for USB host port, DC for the power, OTG for a on-the-go cable, so you can plug in another USB there, and little SD card slot. This particular model has 1 gig of RAM, 8 gigs of storage, and a Rockchip RK3066 dual-core processor. There's the HDMI plug here. A lot of TVs you might not be able to really fit this right into the HDMI though, so there is an adapter which you can use to plug it in. And there's also an adapter that basically turns this second micro USB into a full-size micro USB. So this comes in the box. It's kind of a awkward fit, so I've noticed that sometimes it won't recognize a USB flash drive or a mouse if I plug it into here, unless I plug it in pretty tight. So let's go ahead and switch a few things over here. Oops. So I'm going to plug this into my monitor and turn it on. So I've already got this adapter plugged in, so I can plug it right in here till it snaps. I'm going to plug in a USB power source, and that should be all it takes to turn the device on. And voila! Boots pretty quickly. And I'm also going to go ahead and plug in a dongle for a USB mouse now. And so here we are in Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, and my mouse is not working, and as I mentioned, this thing can be a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to sort of push that in there, pop it out, put it back in, and if I get really frustrated I'll use the full-size USB port. Okay, so using that micro USB port and an adapter, the mouse is working now. That leaves the full-size free for USB flash drive or something else. As I mentioned, there's a new power option, so if I press this little power button down here, we can actually get a menu to shut down the device. Let's not do that just yet. You'll see there's volume up and volume down buttons here in the taskbar, as well as the typical home, recent apps, and back. Settings, full list of apps. Basically it looks like Android, but Android on a big screen. Comes with Adobe Flash Player installed, the Google Chrome browser, in addition to the standard Android browser. Unfortunately, you'll notice it's sort of stuck here trying to download something, and that's because it says I've got no internet connection. I have managed to link it to my internet and do a little bit of surfing the web, but like a lot of these little guys, I found that the Wi-Fi signal is maybe not as strong as it could be. If you're closer to a router, I'm actually several floors away from my wireless router, you might have better luck. Maybe if you don't have other wireless devices nearby, I'm using a wireless mouse, it's got a phone and a tablet and other things nearby, but you can see it's trying to connect to my network right now and it's failing. It does have Bluetooth. Bluetooth does work. I was able to transfer files over Bluetooth between the MK802 IIIS and my smartphone. So Bluetooth works if you wanted to plug in a Bluetooth mouse or other Bluetooth accessories. Theoretically, Bluetooth audio should work, I guess, but I haven't tried that. But for file transfer, it definitely works. And so you've got that extra USB port, which helps set it apart from some of the competition. You've got the power off, which helps set it apart from some of the earlier versions. And it's nice to see that the software is getting refined to allow for features like that. And the software that comes with it includes the Google Play Store, Gmail application, a Media Center application, which lets it act as a media server or stream files over your home network. But again, that's all assuming you can actually get the home network to work. And during this demonstration, it looks like I've never once actually connected. Let's give it another moment here. Let's actually try turning off Wi-Fi and turning it back on and see if that makes any difference. Overall, like a lot of other devices with RK3066 processors, I found that it's relatively responsive. It, as we showed, it loads Android pretty quickly, and switching home screens, the basic graphics are pretty quick. Not a lot of applications here, but let's bring up the File Explorer. You can see that launches quickly. Music application. Video player. Well, that's interesting. We seem to be stuck in the video player. There we go. And in settings, you can see that we are running Google Android 4.1 on an MK802 IIIS. There's automatic software updates. Biggest problem right now is having trouble getting the wireless to work. So your results may vary with the wireless. I can't necessarily recommend any device where I can't get the wireless to work at all. I've actually had more luck on the original MK802 and a number of other devices. Probably the strongest wireless signal I've ever had on this sort of device is on the Minix Neo G4. Oh, looks like we're connected. So now we can go to the Google Play Store, we can see that there are updates available. But who knows how long this signal will stay. So anyways, there's a quick look at the MK802 IIIS from Royco Magic. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and you know, it's an update over some of the earlier models in terms of overall features, but it would be nice if it had a more reliable wireless connection. You can see even though we are connected now, it's downloading very slowly, and I have a pretty fast internet connection.